Welcome to the Furlo Capital Real Estate Podcast, where we dive into the intricacies of passive real estate investing. And our goal in this new year of 2025 is to equip people to invest wisely in both property and people so that together in 2025 we can build wealth while improving housing together. I'm James, and this is my wife, Jessie.
Woohoo! Happy New Year!
Yeah!
I'm super excited about this because...
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like it's been a couple years since I've really sat down and thought through the past year and set some goals out, and there's a couple of things on here that I'm like, okay, I'm looking forward to processing this and working this out.
So here's what we've done. I gave Jessie this worksheet, and we started the first time we did this was in 2014 or something, 10 years ago. Yeah. And essentially it's a two-parter where you complete and remember 2024, or the previous year you just got done with. Right. And then you do creating the next year, in this case 2025. Yeah. And so I gave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and some questions, and so I don't know your answers, you don't know mine. Yeah. And so we're gonna work through it. And my encouragement would be, when we ask the question, think through your own answers along with us. Yeah. And I think it's just a great exercise for everyone to go through, like you were talking about. It's just good to sit back and reflect.
I remember it was pre-kids probably that we did this very regularly. And it's just a good exercise to kind of reflect back on the ups and the downs and everything from the last year, things that maybe you didn't quite get to or weren't what you expected, and then looking ahead to make some adjustments and figure it out. And it's I like this process a little bit better than the traditional goal setting process in my mind, because typically that's typically that's just okay, it's a new year, I can start fresh, and it's you lay out all these amazing things. This to me is more realistic.
It sets you up for maybe looking into that future. Yeah.
It's a different way of looking at it.
Okay.
It's good.
All right. So, question number 1. What was your biggest triumph?
Yeah.
Oh, and I would say for me, I mostly focus on business stuff, just so you know.
Okay. But I focus on work and
It's
life.
Cool. Yeah. I'm just letting you know my answers.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, what was your biggest triumph?
My biggest triumph, something that really stands out to me, is helping our daughter jump some reading levels. We spent some really intentional time over the summer. She had some gaps, from COVID and all the things, and it was okay, we're gonna tackle this. And I have a background in teaching reading, and so it was I was able to assess her, and it was just so gratifying. I feel like it was she jumped about 2 levels. She put in a ton of effort and really worked over the summer, which is that's a lot to ask. And I'm just so proud of her, and proud of myself to be
it's just fun, she's reached this point where now she can do stuff. She can do the reading and writing. Right. Which last year, just small tiny example, she wanted some food, and we're just write it on the food list. Yeah. And she's just yep, no problem. Wrote it, not a problem.
Super easy,
that would not have happened last year.
Right.
So that was cool.
Yeah, it's just watching that jump.
Yeah.
Was
man, I got you.
It's so encouraging.
For me, my biggest triumph was the flip that we did on 16th Avenue.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Because that was a really cool one, because instead of doing a full-on flip, we did enough to get it lendable, and then we're able to sell it to someone else who then put in all the time and effort himself to fix it up. And so it was a win for our investors, because they made an awesome return. Yeah. It was a win for our buyer, because he got a really good deal and was able to add the sweat equity himself, save some money in the process. Yeah. And then it was just a win for us as well.
And that's the first type of flip that you did that way, right?
Yeah.
Where the buyer came in and did all the fixes. Yeah.
But
it was good learning.
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah, so that was probably my biggest triumph, I think. Yeah. All right.
That's awesome.
What was the smartest decision you made? Let me say that without what was the smartest decision you made?
This is I don't know if this is Debbie Downer or not, whatever. I had some health things going on, and I think a smart decision was I went back to the doctor. Even though I had gone to the doctor and they were I don't know, it could just be normal aging. I was no, I think something else is going on. And that was smart. Okay. Because something else was going on. Okay. And it was got that found out. So
yeah. this is going to seem self-serving, but it's not. I think starting this podcast was a smartest decision I made, because for a couple of reasons. Number one, this has been something that we've been able to share, just like who we are and our thoughts with other people. But there's been this other benefit that I didn't actually anticipate, which is you and I staying more connected on the business, because you got your work and what you're doing,
right?
And I've had this, and this was an issue a couple years ago. Yeah, where you were like, I don't even know what you're doing these days.
Yeah, it was like, how am I even contributing or participating? It's been hugely beneficial.
Fold in such a way that it works. So that's been cool. Keeping us connected, and I found by us doing this, it helps me when I'm talking with other investors, because I've practiced having to give you the pitch.
Yeah,
and explain
makes sense
to you.
Oh, I can be harder. I could ask more deeper questions.
Please do. What were you thinking? Yeah.
Who do you think you are?
All right. What one word best to sum? Well, let me try that again. What one word best sums up and describes your 2024 experience?
Okay, based on the way that you read that, and you know me and our normal experience, I adjusted the question and I literally crossed out word and wrote phrase. Because I can't. Although later I did boil it down to one word, which was great.
All right.
So 2024, I feel like my phrase was learning how to rest.
Okay.
Because rest, like, it could be the word, but it's like, that's not it. Like, really, it was me having to go through the process of, like, I don't like to rest. I don't like to sit. I don't like to take help from other people. And I had to learn how to do that this year.
Okay.
So.
All right. So.
Not a pro at it yet, but.
Yeah. I think, maybe similarly, it would have been just learning to trust others, or to let go of preconceived notions on your time, maybe. But yeah, that's cool. My word was creative. It was from a financing standpoint, it was very
okay. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my brain instantly goes to, like, painting and drawing and, like, I was like,
that too. That's what I meant.
Did you make art this year?
100%.
You're like, absolutely.
So much art.
Art in real estate.
Art on the spreadsheet. Yeah.
I mean, that is, like, the definition of our relationship, I feel like.
I would argue what I do in Excel is a form of art.
Right?
But it transcends,
I'm like, watercolor and, like,
normal stuff.
I'm putting, like, layers on this and, like, extra paint. And you're like, did you notice, like, the 2-pixel difference in this website?
100%, man. That's what it's about. Yeah. But anyways, from a financing perspective, it was...
That's awesome.
Creative, but I only had one word, so I didn't say creative finance.
Fine.
Oh, there you go. Ugh. All right. What was the greatest lesson you learned?
This one was related for me. It was that letting other people help is so much better than trying to do everything on my own.
Okay. So that's what I was trying to pull from your other one, but okay.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, there were so many instances where it was like, previously I would have just tried to do this by myself, like at work or even with our kids, and like I couldn't. I had to sit back. I had to rest. I physically could not. And it was like,
just so you know, like if she pushed it too hard on a day, like her next day she would just sleep.
I would just tank.
Like physically, she'd only be up for like 3 or 4 hours in the day.
Right. So it was like I had to learn that balance, trusting other people.
And because of that, you had
and it was so much better. Like when I stepped back, people stepped in to help with things, and it was like, oh, I never would have done it that way. And that's better than what I would have done.
Yeah.
Cool. So it was like, that's
that's a lesson I want to learn next year.
Whew, yeah.
I didn't think I wrote that down.
Let other people help.
That's a good one.
Step in.
Yeah. That's good. Mine was related to my one word, which was just learning how to structure creative deals.
You did do a lot of learning this year.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody recently where I was just talking about how I feel like I have, I would call them sprints in learning, where, I learn something and I just I go all in, I learn all about it, and then the learning tapers off and it turns more into like mastery type of stuff and practicing it. But this year was definitely all right, and part of it was just interest rates were what they were.
Right. You have to get creative.
So it was learning to work, not around it, but just okay, what are my other options?
Yeah, what are options?
And so, it's been a good year. For the creative type of stuff. We've done, I mean, every deal this year has been some sort of weird creative structure, so which has been great. What compliment would you, I can't believe I wrote this. All right, I'm gonna read mine. What compliment would you have liked to receive? Would like to have received? What compliment would you have
you want
liked
me to go
to
first?
have received? Yeah.
Okay.
That's all right. I'm just reading mine going,
okay,
oh yeah,
this is so random.
We're so embarrassed by our own answers.
This is great. It's just so random because I'm just like, too. I don't know.
I'm going to reveal something about myself. I don't want to. Go ahead.
I don't care. Like, I'm going to reveal something, but I don't really care. So, okay, I like bugs. I wanted to be an entomologist as a kid, and I raised bugs this year. I raised mantises and like went through that whole process. Like, you know, it was so cool. I would have loved for someone to have told me, you would have made a really good researcher and entomologist. Oh. You know, had you gone down that track, man, you would have rocked it. You know?
Yeah.
Because it's like this, like, I don't know. It's like this weird childhood. Like, as a kid, people are like, I want to be a firefighter. Like, I want to be a police officer or whatever. Like, that was my dream.
Yeah.
And so there's this weird innate thing in me still that's like, oh man, could I have done that? And like, I don't know. Like, man, maybe not. But if someone had told me that, that would like be so fulfilling.
All right.
Which is so weird. Like, it's, I'm never going to be an entomologist, but like.
But it's nice to know that you could have.
Yeah. That I could have. That I'd be good at it.
Okay. That's good.
So you can tell me, tell me that next year. Man, you would have made a real good entomologist. Just wait till I forget that I've said this.
Okay. All right. I'll do that. Wait until the next round.
Hold on. I might need to borrow this paper so I can remember years later.
Oh, man. Mine is so dumb. Okay.
This is so good. It's hard to think of, like, what would I have loved someone to tell me? Like, that's so self-centered.
Mine wasn't... Mine, nobody told me this because it's not true. So, all right. So mine was just simply someone saying, nice abs. Which
I'm sorry.
They should
I should not laugh out loud.
They're not nice.
I should
They're
not laugh out loud
at
at that.
Like, so no one would tell me that compliment. But it's the underlying thing of what I'm sharing there. I'm like,
if you,
man, I feel flabby.
Man.
I got a dad bod on that.
Aw. Hey, so, I'm right there with you.
Which, again, it's deserved that I don't get that compliment, but...
But you would have liked to have.
I would have liked to have been the person who had the discipline to get to a point where someone would have made that compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. That's lame. All right.
Moving on. Let's move on. Let's move. Like,
what compliment would you have liked to have given? And I'm reading mine now, going, "What am I doing? I should have done it." But that's all right.
I had that same thought.
All right. What was yours?
So I would have loved to have done a better job appreciating my helper at work, my assistant at work. Okay. Because she's incredible. Like, she makes my life so much better and does a fantastic job, goes above and beyond, like, things I ask her to do. And I'm like, man, I should tell her that more regularly. And so that did make me think. I was like, well, it's not too late. Like,
it's not too late.
I could tell her. I'm going to see her, in a couple days. Like, I could tell her.
Yeah, yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Mine was to her daughter. I want to tell her that I like what I would describe as like her all-in enthusiasm for things. It's very similar. You have it too, where it's like when she like she'll go all in on stuff and just be super enthusiastic and
when she finds something she likes, she's all in.
yes, and I just appreciate that about her. And I hope she doesn't lose that when she becomes an emo teenager, and that
she probably
becomes too cool for stuff. I want her to like, I like that. So I gotta tell her that. That's not my thing.
Man, yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right, what else do you need to do or say to be complete with 2024?
Yeah, I didn't have a great one for this. Like, at the time that I was filling this out, our praying mantis was still alive. Oh. And I didn't think she was going to be alive, like, in the new year.
Okay. And
so I was, like, maybe saying goodbye to her. That's done. So I can check that one off. And then I was like, I don't know, decorate for stuff. But I don't know.
All right.
I didn't have anything good.
Oh, hey, that's good. I mean, that tells me, like, you feel like the year's completed.
Yeah, I'm
That's
good.
Cool.
I'm good if 2024 is done.
I shouldn't admit this, but I still have to finish up some bookkeeping and taxes stuff.
No.
I got time. But
I mean,
it's my like.
It's
lame. It has to happen. But that's definitely on my like. It's something that I think about. I'm like, okay, I gotta do it. I gotta get it done because I gotta get tax stuff out sooner rather than later.
I mean that would be one I feel like would be on mine. That's like I need to empty my email inbox or something to feel like completed or whatever. Okay. But it's like
that's fair. Yeah. That's fair. So that is remembering 2024. Some of those reflection questions. Hopefully you were able to play along with us and remember and reflect on some of your things. Now what we want to talk about is creating 2025. Okay.
Yes.
And so the questions are actually they're similar in their style. They just are forward looking. So for example, the first one is, what would you like to be your biggest triumph?
I was like expecting more there, but yeah, my biggest triumph. Okay,
triumph.
This is like, I feel like this is just an ongoing thing every year, and I would really love to find another like good workout or movement plan again.
Oh, okay.
You know, because it's like.
Yeah,
I feel like I've gotten to this point in my life. Like I used to be a marathoner. I used to run. My body can't do that anymore, you know, and I just haven't found 40s. The thing, the next thing that I'm like, this is how I stay active.
Oh, okay.
And so I've dabbled in some different things.
Okay.
But I'm like, man, that would be a good triumph to be like, I am now a.
Is there anything that I can do to help you figure that out?
I don't know. Like maybe help me experiment with some different time frames of working out or like some different activities.
Okay. Yeah, I know because we've experimented and just it doesn't seem to stick. You don't like working out with me, which makes it
I don't like working out with anybody. It's not you. It's like I don't like.
It makes it hard, but
I'm okay. I'm okay with burn.
Yeah.
Because there's like
work for you anymore.
Right. That schedule doesn't work, and there's other things.
That's a good one.
It's expensive. Like, you know, but anyways, I can come up with lots of excuses. I would like to find that thing that was like running. You know, for me, it was like, I enjoy doing it. I know it's healthy. Like, I'm going to keep doing it regardless.
Right.
Even if there's no health benefits because I like it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Maybe it's walking or hiking or.
That's good.
I don't know.
Well, if you're listening to this and you have some ideas for stuff for you to try,
throw them out there.
Share it. She's open to it.
Yeah.
For me, I would like my biggest triumph. I want to hire 2 people.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know how to afford that yet, but I want to reach this point in my business where that's what I've done, and I know what they would be, and I think that's part of that, like what we were kind of talking about, like learning to let go of stuff, and so that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Hire 2 people, and all the implications behind that.
That's a big one.
Yeah, I think it will help my business run better, help me serve more people, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And
that would be a huge triumph.
Yeah.
Love that.
What advice would you like to give yourself?
It kind of goes along with like what I was already learning in 2024. I think it's like try to be more content in resting and being calm.
Okay.
Rather than like anxious or discontent. You know, it's like being active against some of those discontentment thoughts and just being present in rest. Like, that's hard for me.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, okay, it sounds kind of dumb to say it out loud, but it's like, here's a silly example. Is like sometimes when I'm reading or when I'm like putting together a puzzle, which I really love doing, in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking, I should be doing something else. It's like, I want to work on silencing that voice and just being present and saying, no, right now, this is what's good. Like, this is where I need to be.
This will get to one of my other answers, but I know 100% what you're talking about. Like, I've had times where, like, this was a couple weeks ago, where I had a meeting. I did, like, a real estate thing, and then I went and I had lunch with a friend. It was kind of a mentoring kind of relationship. We chatted.
Yeah.
And then I got done with that, and I met with someone else about a volunteer type of thing. And combined, that was a couple hours with my time. And I definitely had that thought while driving home, like, okay, well, I just lost a couple hours doing that. Now I got to get back to work. and having to stop myself and be like, no, like that was
valuable.
That was good. That was valuable time. That was work. It just wasn't necessarily directly on my business. So I know what you're talking about. For me, my advice that I would like to give myself is be as responsive as possible. I feel like I can go through times where like I am on it, super responsive, and other times where I won't be. And it's often because I start working deep on a project and I get into it, I'm all in, so I ignore my email, ignore my phone calls, text, all that stuff, and just learning. And I like, how do I create a system around that just to be more responsive? It's part of hiring someone will help me do that, but that's good. But that's my just that would be my advice. Just try to be as responsive as possible. Focus on that. Okay, what is the major effort you are planning to improve your financial results?
I mean, it's kind of a cop-out on this one, but it's like, I'm not sure if it's really me, but I think we're making some changes in our business, and like, you're expanding out, doing some property management. Like, I'm encouraging, I'm investing in you to make sure that like
doing this,
because it's like my job, I'm not going to increase my income a whole bunch or like develop my business, but together we have this other thing that
that's
helping you.
For me, so help me. It's doing more flips is part of the goal, and I'm starting up a property management business, and that and I think it's going to have all sorts of benefits to it. The first one just being like, I'll be more vertically integrated on things that I'm already doing, and I think that'll be good. And I think I'm good at it, and so we'll create some good systems and be able to help out more people, because I've been trying to think through like a lot of what we do is we equip people, we help people invest in real estate, and it's a spectrum, right? You have people who are 100% passive, like they provide the funds, and then we take it and we go off and we do everything. Well, there's a middle, and then active is the other side, right? They buy the property, they manage it, they do it all. There's this middle ground of someone who already owns an asset. They bought the property by themselves. They're a single owner, but they don't necessarily want to do the day-to-day stuff of it. And so there's an opportunity for me to help those people who are in the middle ground. And I think also help them further diversify away from maybe just having one or two properties, but saying, hey, why don't you passively invest in some other deals as well, further diversify. So I think there's a lot of benefits to me that I can help, a lot of benefits I can accrue to other investors who don't necessarily have the time and expertise to do the daily piece of it all.
Right.
But that's, and I think that will also help our financial results, which will be good. What would you be most happy about completing in 2025?
Well, it's this project we actually talked about it the other day when we went on a walk. I have had this project for work like rattling around in my brain for a few years, and it's this concept of like creating a memory verse plan for kids, so that they can create a statement of faith. And it's like they get to the end of it, they're able to say, here's what I believe, here's why. And it's like, that's super valuable. I feel like within our faith, that's super valuable for you and I, for anybody who has a religion, a faith. But that skill of learning how to define what you believe and why you believe it is so valuable. And so I want to create this system, that encourages parents, equips parents to like work with their kids to do this process. So that would be super awesome. Cool if I completed it in 2025. I've made a lot of progress, but I would love that.
Okay. Yeah. That's sweet. That's good. I like that one. Mine is simply, I want to create predictable growth for investing, for managing, and for bringing on new investors. I don't feel like I'm at a point now where it's predictable.
Right. You're still experimenting, trying different things.
Yeah. Like for example, we're running ads, and I actually just did my first Facebook video ad, and we just got our first lead from doing that.
All right.
I'm like, all right, cool.
Right, but it's new.
It's still exactly.
Not predictable.
And so it's awesome. I don't know where it's going to go, but having a predictable process where I know, if I do more of this, I know I will get this out.
Okay.
And I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah.
And at least on the investing side, on all of it, honestly.
Do you think in order to get there, you just keep doing what you're doing?
A little bit of that. More learning.
Probably more learning, but then more repeating.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, is this
Yeah.
Like
so
actually
that's,
the thing to do.
That's a piece of it. Yeah. Just getting predictable growth. That's my...
I liked predictability.
Oh, dude, I love it too. It's so amazing. Okay, this one's gonna be... I'm interested to hear your answer on this one. What major indulgence are you willing to experience?
Oh, this one was so hard too. I literally wrote, maybe I'll get a massage again. I don't know. That's so hard for me. I mean,
you gotta think bigger. Monthly massages.
That would be a little much though. Like I feel like I don't know if I'd like that.
Okay.
I mean, we are going out to trip and like
yeah, that's an obvious one that I didn't write down because that's not really
it's not an indulgence necessarily. Yeah. I don't know.
All right, so here are mine.
I'll eat ice cream.
So I actually that'll help out with your biggest triumph. I had 2 actually. So
all right.
So one of them
maybe I'll steal yours.
They're both time related indulgences for me.
Oh.
So the
binge watching something?
It's related to that. I like having longer lunches.
Yeah, that's true.
Or at least not where it's like a defined, okay, I got an hour-long lunch.
Yeah.
I like and sometimes it is. I'll watch a movie during lunch, and if it's an hour-and-a-half movie, my lunch is now an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. And I like that. Or I have lunch with a person, and we're there for 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, and not having to worry about, you know, like, oh, I got to get back. Yeah. And so that's an indulgence for sure, and I recognize that and appreciate that. Mm-hmm. But then another one is I spend a lot of time doing volunteer work.
Yeah.
And I feel the pressure to stop. It's like I was talking about earlier, right? Where it's like, I will go do that kind of stuff. And
right. But then you're like, I lost the time.
And, and so it's weird to call it an indulgence. But it's just that, like, to say, no, this is still important to me. And I'm going to take the time to do it because I enjoy it. I think it's helpful. Mm-hmm. And I don't just want to get into I just work all the time and that's what I do. And because I think I have the flexibility to continue to do that. I think I have to make choices on where I spend that time. I may not be able to spend as much time as I have in the past, but I think that's okay because in some ways I think building a business and helping out other people is another way of serving. But just like straight up just doing like volunteer work. But
really, it's like more of a perspective shift.
Yeah. But anyways, that's when I think of indulgence. That's what I think of.
Man, I think of like chocolates and ice cream and massages and spa days and.
Those are cool too. I like I would love to do regular massage, like physical therapy massage on my hips because they're super tight and that causes problems while running. And
interesting.
But I've been told if I loosen them up,
massage therapy.
But it would be cool. Yeah. All right. 2 more. What brings you the most joy, and how are you going to do or have more of it?
I wrote down snuggling Vinny, our dog.
He's awesome.
Reading, crafting, doing puzzles. So I wrote down like maybe I could be more intentional about carving out time each week to do one of these or a few of these purposefully. Yeah. Like possibly setting a goal surrounding them. Like I wrote down, it's kind of ridiculous, but it's like complete 10 puzzles this year. Ooh, where it's like, if there's a goal, then I feel like, oh yeah, I'm
By the way,
reaching something.
I feel like that's, and I almost said it, but I didn't. I feel like that's one of the things on the exercising piece that worked really well for you.
Yeah. Just having
if you've got something coming up, you'll train for it.
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah. Setting
some sort of goal. I want to get to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is true.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that one. For mine, it's super boring. I enjoy reading and just learning in general. Yeah. And so I think that brings me a lot of joy. Like I like doing the online class stuff, and which is probably maybe another indulgence, right? I pay for those things. But yeah, I enjoy just doing that and doing more of it. I think it'll be good.
So we both like reading. Dang. Maybe we should have like reading dates.
Maybe I'm reading, you're puzzling, and something. I mean,
all of my books are like fiction and murder mysteries.
Well, I'm not.
So I'm not really like learning anything. I know. But you would be like increasing your brain capacity and learning new things, reading these amazing biographies, and I'd be like, who did it?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Anyways,
yeah, funny. That's fine.
I'm so excited about this.
Okay, final one. What one word would you like to have as your theme in 2024?
This is so good. And I am not ashamed to admit I used AI.
Really?
Because I had several phrases. And I was like, I will get this to one word. Nice. I will. Okay. So I typed it all into AI. And this...
Are you going to tell me the phrases first or just start with a word? What's your...
I'm going to tell you the word.
Okay.
And then the definition of it. Because you're not going to know it.
Okay.
Because I was like, okay, didn't even know that was a thing.
I love it.
Okay. Man, this is such a good word. Equanimity.
Equanimity.
The word equanimity means mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper, especially during difficult situations.
Oh.
Right?
Equanimity.
That is my heart's desire.
Wow.
Is like, because what I wrote.
That is a good word.
Like all the different things was like, I want to rest. I want to be calm. I want to be present. Like even in the midst of like, I have things to do. I've got stuff, and then I was like, I want to trust that God's plan is good, and not just worry and stress.
Yeah.
And man, this word is just like, there is like a spiritual component to it. There was this definition that was like resting in God's grace, trusting his plan, not looking to your own. And I was just like, yes, okay, that is the word. Equanimity, this evenness despite hardship.
Okay. All right.
Man, I was just like, such a good word.
That is a good word.
Equanimity.
I love it. Okay. My word is, man.
You should have gone first.
I should have. Man.
I was just so excited. I was so excited about my word.
That's a great word.
Thank you, AI. Did you type yours into AI?
No, I didn't.
I mean, maybe you could come up with a better word if you type in your phrases.
So, all right. So
That's all right. Your word is good.
My thought process is so generic relative to that. That's such a good word. All right. So my thought process was I'm doing more business type of stuff, going deeper, trying to figure out more ways to help people.
Right.
And so, and I actually connected mine to a phrase, not just a word. But it was, so my one word was valuable. And it was to be more valuable and regularly ask what's in it for them.
Ooh, I like that.
And just really trying to have.
That's super good. What makes this more valuable for someone else?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good, that is super interesting to me. Like to have a word that you're focusing on, but to have a question that goes with it, that is like, it's helping you to achieve that thing, whatever it is.
Yeah. And
because you can ask that in many different situations as you're doing business, as you're interacting with people.
Well, I know there will be opportunities for me to help people that don't directly impact me.
Right.
Like we actually had this, we find this all the time when we're talking to like, say a homeowner who's in foreclosure. Like we will come to them with ideas where we go, hey, like I get it. This is going to lose the deal for me. I don't care.
Yeah.
You should do this.
This is a better
This is the route
deal
that you should go down. And so we've done things like that. And but I think as I interact with more people, I have more opportunities to ask that question. And that's what I really like to focus on this year.
I like that.
How to be more valuable. There you go. So hopefully, again, those were kind of helpful, and for you to reflect on your own year and looking forward on how you want it to be. Would love to hear your thoughts in comments on if you have a word that you are interested in and pursuing, or what you want your greatest triumph to be. Would love to hear those kind of things. And that was awesome. And if you want part of this new year to be investing in real estate passively, you can check us out at furlo.com to learn more all about that. We've got a ton of information on there. It's super good. So with that, thanks for listening and have a fantastic year.